You're on.
My name is Lauren Catalano. I am teaching first grade in Frake Berry School, and I'm teaching the second day of a math lesson.
Okay, so we'll go to the first question. So we want to understand the decisions you made in planning for this lesson and how it fits into the unit and year. How does this lesson connect to and build on students' prior skills and knowledge from yesterday's lesson?
So yesterday during my interview, I discussed the unit that we're doing and how I built upon that from the beginning of the year and where it's going to go towards the end of the year. For today's lesson, the way that I built upon yesterday's lesson is that we're using different tools to make models of two-digit numbers. So yesterday, students were using popsicle sticks. Today we practiced that again, and then they learned a new way to represent numbers, and they were drawing quick pictures.
Okay, so talk about the standards or cluster targeted in the lesson. What did you do to make the lesson reflect the full intent of that standard or cluster today?
So the standard that I have chosen for this lesson was the same standard that I used for yesterday's lesson as well. And it's representing a number with tens and ones, and that a number such as 18 is represented as a bundle of 10 and 8 ones. So the only difference really from yesterday is that I really focused on using the vocabulary today. So we talked a lot about the word digit, we talked a lot about the word tens, and we talked about the word ones. So as the unit continues, I'll ensure that students are using this language when they're speaking about their thinking.
Okay, so which of the core action indicators do you think this lesson best exemplified?
So like I had said yesterday, I feel that this lesson is also utilizing the core action one. So we're focusing on the new shifts that are related to the Common Core. So really thinking about focus, coherence, and rigor.
All right, so we're interested in how the shifts required by the CCSS are being incorporated into the classroom. Discuss how this lesson illustrates the shifts required by the CCSS.
So one of the major shifts that are required by the CCSS is focusing on fluency and building students' fluency with their number work, and just so students are comfortable and that they can really manipulate numbers and they can do addition and subtraction facts. And in first grade, that's what we're focusing on. And yesterday I was working on showing students a picture of a partially filled in tens frame, and looking at that picture they have to give me the two addends, add them together, and then give me the sum, and then they also have to give me the related fact as well. So today I decided to do fluency a little different, and I showed them pictures of straws that were bundled together, and then there were some leftovers. So if there was one bundle and three leftovers, that would be 110 and 3 ones. So as this is the first day that we did this, so as I continue to practice with this, students will be able to just quickly look at a picture and know what the number is that's being represented. So they would see the bundle of 10 and then the 3 ones, and they could say, okay, that's number 13. So we're going to continue with that so that students will be comfortable when they are seeing a picture and they'll know what number is being represented.
So, how did the students handle this lesson? Did they understand the mathematics of the lesson?
I was sort of surprised during this lesson. I didn't get to half of the things that I wanted to get to. So I originally thought that showing the students how to draw a quick picture, so they would draw a stick for a 10 and then a circle for a 1. And they would use those symbols to represent numbers. And I thought that would be something that was relatively simple. And doing the work with the students and walking around and looking at whiteboards, I noticed there were some kids who got it right away. They understood it, they saw what I did, they saw my models, and they can implement it themselves. However, there were several students who I was surprised they were having issues with these drawings. So because of that, I didn't get to the part of the lesson that I was looking forward to the most, which is where kids were looking at different puzzles, and from what it said, they would try and find a mystery number. So they would have to read what the puzzle said and then draw a quick picture to figure out what the number is. So unfortunately, I was surprised by that, but that just means that tomorrow I know exactly which kids I'm going to pull into a small group, and those kids are going to work with me to draw those quick pictures, and they'll just get more practice. And as the more practice they get, then I'll be able to give them those puzzles, and they'll be able to independently complete it.
Which behaviors from Core Action 3 did the students best exemplify in this lesson?
So thinking about the math practices, one that we use a lot in our classroom is using and utilizing the tools in the classroom. So as I said yesterday, my students have whiteboards in their desk, and they also have their math toolkits, which have tens frames in them. They have Unifix cubes, they have whiteboard markers and erasers, they have a number line, so they know that they can pull these tools out at any point and use them to help them. So today we were using our whiteboards to draw pictures, which is something that they're going to continue to do throughout the lesson. So we used the pictures as a tool, so drawing to represent numbers, and then we also started the lesson using popsicle sticks and rubber bands so that they could bundle 10 popsicle sticks to make a 10, and then they have some left over, which that's a warm-up that we are going to start with for the next couple days to get students used to counting those bundles and being able to represent a number in different ways.
Great instructors are continuously learning. We want to understand what you celebrated in this lesson and what you would improve upon. Reflecting on the lesson, what worked particularly well and what might you do differently?
Can we stop for 1 sec?
Mm-hmm.
I just need to like it.
Okay, I'll ask you again. What was I asking? Oh, okay. Reflecting on the lesson, what worked particularly well and what might you do differently?
So something that I was very happy to see was yesterday we really talked about making a group of 10 and how that makes it easier for a mathematician to count, and that you're using an organized way to do the counting. And today I saw most of the students grouping their popsicle sticks into groups of 10, and there were several who did not. They were maybe doing groups of 4. There was one girl doing a group of 18. So after a really quick discussion with her, I reminded her of what happened yesterday, and she quickly remembered, oh yeah, I need to make a group of 10. So I love that students are using what we learned yesterday and continuing to use that in future lessons. Something that I would have changed for next time is because I didn't anticipate the quick pictures taking a long time. Next time I plan this lesson, I'll make sure to do just one lesson on drawing the quick pictures, and then the puzzles that I would like to do where it gets a little more challenging, I'll plan that for another day, which is what we're going to do tomorrow.
Were there any surprises or unexpected student behaviors or reactions?
I don't know if it was necessarily a surprise. I did have to talk to my friend Ella a couple times. She has a hard time focusing and controlling her body, so I had to move her at one point. And there were a couple other students I needed to remind to keep their focus and maybe not sit near their friends. And again, none of those are surprises, but that's what I had to take care of.
Was there any students that you really saw just the lesson yesterday click with them when you were going around with the boards?
Oh yeah, there's I would say there's only a handful of students who didn't know from yesterday. Most of the students were making groups of 10 completely independently. I gave the directions in the hallway, and then I'd say about 80% of the kids went in and started and knew exactly what to do.
You're done.
Yay!
Good work.